Hey, what's up, everybody? Welcome in. I needed to just kind of take my mind off things and just figured I would come outside and just live stream for a little bit. I was actually going to record a video, but my fiance actually was like, just do a live stream, take your mind off things. So why not, right? Why not? There we have it like that. I guess that looks a little bit better. So you gotta deal with the nature when you sit outside, right? It's obvious. Anyways, as the title implies, right? OnePlus N200, Moto G Stylus, right? The Revvl V Plus 5G, and the Pixel 6 and Pixel 5. And these are phones that I have with me right now. Well, I think I have. No, I didn't take it out. Oh no, I didn't take it out the bag. I had it right here. Pixel 6. All these phones are great. All these phones are awesome. They're awesome to use. I think that looks a little better. I'm just gonna give my thoughts on each one of them. Just figured I would just like clash, I guess, like a final review on all these devices. And I threw the Pixel 5 in there just, for shits and giggles. Yeah, it's been a tough week. But so I'm trying to keep track of all the memorable things about each of these phones when I was using them. So yeah. Anyways, during the live, if you have a question about any of these phones that I am talking about, feel free to ask them in the comments. I don't mind answering the questions at all, or even demonstrating for you guys. But I gotta say, each of these phones are great in their own characteristic way. So yeah, I'm not gonna deep dive into specs, right? Because I'm a person that user experience has always been the number one thing for me. And so using these phones, I have an experience with them, and I'm gonna tell you guys that. And I'm not gonna rank them because they're all good in their own way. And then also there are phones that will obviously perform a bit better than the other ones, just based upon what they're packing. That's an obvious. It's an obvious that I'm not going to escape from or move away from or anything like that, right? But I've had time with them, right? I've had time with the Pixel 5. I've actually had the longest time with the Pixel 5 out of all of them. That was when Carlos dropped that bomb that he had a Pixel 5 and he gave it to me. So which still caught me by surprise, still caught me off guard. So yeah, but the rest of these devices come from the biggest sponsor of my channel, who's always you've always had my back for the longest time, and that would be her. Every phone that I've sought after, every phone that I wanted to get, she has supported me and done what she could to help me out to get these devices. So if that's not love, I don't know what love is. Because helping your nerdy boyfriend track down all these phones and find them and buy them, I mean, yeah. So I am going to start off with this one, the Pixel 5, and I'm gonna pop it out of its case. Okay, because this phone, I wish that it had certain things with it. I'm not saying that the Pixel 5 is a bad phone. I think the Pixel 5 is an amazing phone. It's still one of my favorite ones to use today. And so I'm currently about to put the Boost mobile service back on this phone because I like carrying it around with me. One of the biggest things here is the form factor size. It's smaller than the rest of the phones that I have. And that's one of the things that I do like about it, because there's times where I don't want to use such a big phone, and having something like this seems more manageable to do. I would have wished that the Pixel 6a was about the same size as this. Really, honestly. Some people may disagree with me on that, and that's okay. But I really wish they would have made the Pixel 6a the same size as the Pixel 5. That would have been so totally cool. And I would have probably sold every other phone that I had to get the Pixel 6a if it was exactly the same size as the Pixel 5. But it's not. It is a little bit bigger. The cameras on this thing is superb. It takes amazing photos till today. Even on Android 13 beta 4.1, the cameras are awesome. And I will tell everybody at the end of the day, and this is probably one of the biggest reasons why that I have such a huge, I don't want to say loyalty, but a huge The heck? Okay. Like a huge loyalty to not loyalty. I don't want to say loyalty, but like a good I guess for like Google Pixel phones, right? It's like I fan out on them. Fan out on them because they have been great. You know, with Android 13 on here, it's been smooth. But even on Android 12, it was pretty dang smooth. And I didn't really have anything real to really complain about it. The display, awesome, right? You get a good amount of screen real estate, screen to body ratio with the Pixel 5. And I'm also very curious as to know what this phone would have been like had it gotten the Tensor chip. If you guys don't remember, MKBHD basically pointed out that this, in fact, was supposed to be the first device to get the Tensor chip. So it wouldn't bother me if Google decided to pull an Apple move here and do like a similar SE type of thing and kind of build a Pixel 5 with the Tensor chip in it. I think that would have been so cool to see. I think that is something that I feel like that, you know, there are those who champion for the Pixel 5, would love to see that kind of come back into play. The Pixel 5 is one of those phones where it's just like, it was very underrated, very, yeah. Oh, D, that's my daughter's channel. And my kids have been making these YouTube channels and creating content on their own. Night rise and dawn rise. Got it. But yeah, so the Pixel 5 is just one of those phones that I would say like a lot of people really just kind of slept on it. I think people were really hung up with the fact that the Pixel 5 had the Snapdragon 765G, and a lot of people that, you know, expectations was very mid-range performance, and it was further from that. It was very further from that. It really did perform very snappy. With the Snapdragon 765G chip in it, it handled everything that I threw at it. And I threw a lot of things at it, including, you know, like recording video and editing video, those types of things. I put the phone through its paces, you know. The battery life on the Pixel 5 was outstanding, still is outstanding. It does very, very good for battery life. And yeah, I still have yet to repair the screen on this. Only just because, yeah, I just don't have the money to burn like that on it. But eventually I will. Eventually I will get the screen on my Pixel 5 repaired. I did a pretty bang up job though for like a ghetto rig, literally putting a glass screen protector on it. And at the edges where it really kind of like chipped the glass, I used super glue to seal it so that way water wouldn't get in. And yeah, I mean, when I'm ready to get it fully repaired, I'll take it into formerly known as You Break I Fix, now part of Asurion. And since they are certified to repair Google phones, and they should have the screen on hand, and then they can make the repairs. So yeah, I'm ready to, you know, get the Pixel 5 fully fixed again. But I guess the reason why I never really rushed to do it was my little ghetto patch allowed me to use the phone without, you know, feeling like it was hindered, right? I mean, like the display is cracked, but you can barely see it. Unless you really kind of look at it and you tilt it a certain way in the light, and then you can see the crack. With the screen protector on top of it, it just, you know, I don't feel the crack, so I'm not annoyed by it. So I guess that's the reason why I ran it so long without it being repaired. But that is the Pixel 5 in a nutshell. You know, at closing for its review, it is without a doubt one of my favorite Google Pixel phones of all time, right? Y'all know the Pixel 2 XL is one of them, and the Pixel 5 is another one. I'm gonna leave it at that. This phone is a little bit different, and I know some people are probably gonna have, yo, what up, Blades? What's going on? Alternate reality, what's up? I know some of you guys may have mixed feelings about it because some people, you know, they aren't real big fans of T-Mobile, and I don't have this phone because I am a fan of T-Mobile. That's furthest from it. If it's functional, yeah. Side hustle, Mike. What up? What's going on, man? Are you doing your DoorDash and Uber Eats? Awesome. I'm glad you guys can come in. Appreciate you guys for being here. But anyways, this phone is the Revvl V Plus 5G. This is the big phone, a very big, hefty phone. It kind of goes against, you know, my support for the Pixel 5, right? I mean, that's pretty big. That's, yeah, that's what she said. You know, and I really thought that, you know, because of the way that the phone functioned and everything like that, like this wouldn't be a very good experience. And I have to say that even though that it is on Android 11, it's not on Android 12. The experience has actually been really, really good. I must say. Now, it does have its caveats. It does have its quirks. Obviously, one of them is being the fact that, you know, it is a budget, like in between, like low budget to mid range. So it's not really up there on the mid range, but you know, it kind of gets there. I mean, it is pretty smooth as far as my usage with it. It has been fairly snappy. Now, had it had like an 800 series chip, I don't know how this thing would have been. I probably would have been like even more, like, yeah, just wow. Oh wow, this is actually pretty cool. So on the Google feed, it shows the Motorola unveiled the Moto G32, a 90 hertz screen, Snapdragon 680 chip, and a 30-watt fast charging for $163. Y'all heard it live on Aloha Android. Moto G32. There it is right there. Wow, that's actually pretty cool. I would love to pick that up, but another time. I got time to start getting into the free range of getting mobile phones like once or twice a month to review. That comes later on. I got to get things situated for myself first, which is why there's been a lot of coverage on these phones that I'm doing a final review on this live stream. One thing I will say that I thought was going to be a disappointment that actually turned out not to be a disappointment was the cameras. The cameras are decently good. Okay, I say decently because I don't expect it to be flagship type, like snapping photos from an iPhone or from a Google Pixel. But for the price of this phone and for what it has, I mean, that selfie does not look bad. And the camera, my Lenovo webcam is not doing it any justice. It actually is pretty good. I'll tweet this photo out so you guys can actually just see it. Actually, let me do that right now. And all these bugs are just bugging me. There's like, ever since the storms passed through and there's water, there's been a lot of mosquitoes and just bugs, and they bug the hell out of me. Anyways, I just got signed into Twitter real quick and I'll tweet this out and then you guys can actually go on Twitter and then see it. Yeah, I guess live. So let me tweet this out. Allow it to connect. I'll put selfie snapped during live from Revvl V+. All right, so it should be tweeted now. Yeah, now you guys will be able to see on Twitter, and you guys will be able to see how the selfie turned out. My daughter says, I love your videos. I appreciate it, sweetheart. I appreciate it. B-Tech switch from his side hustle Mike to B-Tech reviews. What's up, man? But yeah, so it is a hefty sized phone. Selfie camera does pretty good. The main camera does pretty good too. I was just blown away by the photos I was able to take with it. And I was like, wow. Crazy enough as it is, yes, it does have the T-Mobile tramp stamp on the back of it. Some people always make fun of that, but I actually do like the color. I mean, this is one of those phones that's like really nice to rock without a case, and I love how that reflects in the light. These are simple cosmetic things, so nothing really to do backflips and cartwheels for, but still nice to appreciate. I think one of the biggest things that gets me about this phone is just how square that module, not module, but the square of the body is. Very boxed. And I'm kind of glad that phones are adopting that box feel, because at least for me, it's more comfortable in the hand to hold than, you know, boxed out. Not bad background blurry though, blown out. Yeah, of course. Like I said, it's not going to do as great as like Google Pixel phones can, but I gotta admit though, for the detail that it has of me, because when I take a selfie, I can care less if the background is blown out. the whole point, I'm taking a selfie so you guys can see me. Background doesn't matter to me, you know, unless I wanted to show you guys that I'm over like at the Grand Canyon, but then I would just snap a photo with the main sensor. But yeah, I know what you mean. Like it does slightly get a little blown out, but it's totally fine. For what the phone is, what it's offering, and for it to take photos like that. And then since we're already doing it, let me flip the camera around and just kind of take a picture of the backyard, and then I'll tweet this, and you guys can see this on Twitter. This is from the main camera sensor, and I thought it did pretty good for what it is, right? Like I'm gauging this thing not in comparing it to flagship devices. V plus well, plugs. Camera test. So I'm trying to type this out and think at the same time. Like it's like right now, hashtag ADHD problems. My mind is racing like 100,000 different directions. But yeah, you guys will see. I don't compare this to say that this would be flagship, right? I wouldn't put this up against an iPhone. I wouldn't put this against a Google Pixel phone. For what it is what it is, you know? And there we go. So I tweeted it out. So if you guys go on Twitter, you guys can actually see it. Battery life on this thing is pretty decent too. I always have this notion that if it's like a giant phone like this, the battery life has to be like tremendous as hell. That's not the case, right? Like a phone this size with the battery inside of it, like I would literally guesstimate like 2.5 to 3 days battery life, but it's nothing like that. But I do get a good amount of battery life with it though. I can pull close to 2 days with light use. Very light use, I probably could hit 3 days. Standby, I know for a fact I've left this phone on without actually using it, and it's gone 4.5 days standby, just powered on, screen off, laying on my desk, not doing anything for 4.5 days. It lasted. So yeah, this definitely for sure. One phone that I would say, like, you know what, if you're on the fence and you don't want to spend a whole lot of money, and you don't mind the T-Mobile tramp stamp, but you know you dig the color, you did the box rectangular feel, and you want pretty decent cameras, then yeah, you ain't gonna go wrong with that phone. That phone's actually pretty decent. And right, I don't know if the promo is still around right now, but on Metro, new line of service gets you that phone for free. You just pay the taxes. So my daughter's trying to be funny. What's your favorite phone, Pixel or iPhone? I don't know. Let's see how well you know your dad. What do you think it is? The Revvl 6 5G is out now. Yeah, I know it's out. I don't have no plans of picking it up soon. Yeah, there's been like a lot of reviews I've been checking out. A lot of reviews. I know with the Tech Right did a review on it, or he did an unboxing of it. He did an unboxing of the 6 and then the 6 Plus. The Revvl 6 Plus and the Revvl 6. It's kind of interesting, right? The Revvl 6 is a silver color. The Revvl 6 Plus is like, you know, that color, like kind of like a purplish pink. Well, I don't want to say purplish. I want to say more of just like a violet, like a red violet color. So yeah. Next one on my list is one that I'm very interested in. I mean, their brand more than anything, and that's OnePlus. This phone is all kinds of buckets of fun for me. I've been having such an amazing time. And someone may sit there and say, well, you know, it's a budget phone. How much fun could you possibly freaking have with it? And I'll be upfront with you guys. A lot of fucking fun. This phone is just buckets of fun. Right now, it currently has my visible SIM card in it, and it just performs very, very well. And I think one of the main things I like about it is just like how customizable you can get with this phone. Okay, I have animations turned on and scaled to a different way, so like swiping between home screens is like that. I don't have an app drawer. I have it completely set to have all the icons on, you know, the display itself. And I like the way that the display looks. Like my wallpaper looks pretty badass, if I must say. And it's pretty nice and vivid. Yeah, it's Sonic and Knuckles. And I have like an icon pack installed, which is something that Oxygen OS lets you do off jump. And these are things that I think that the Pixel experience would benefit from if Google would implement this into Android for Pixel phones. Being able to install custom icons, people still have a, passion for, customizing their Android phone. They want to be able to put specific icons that they like in place of the native icons. They want to be able to change up the font and use different types of font. There's just so much things that people want to be able to do with Android. And I think that, with the Google Pixel phones and the Pixel experience, which is, the Pixel skin over Android, I really feel like that Google is kind of dropping the ball on that. I mean, yeah, with Android 12 and Android 13, Material You UI was supposed to enable us to be able to customize our phones and kind of just make it really, nice, something to kind of just say, hey, this is different from everybody else's. But that is furthest from the truth. I'd say that not knocking on Android 13 or Android 12, because it is nice to have themed icons that match the colorway, and the colorway goes through your Gmail app and that matches it, and it goes through about every Google app you have kind of matches it. And with that, it's like you got phones like OnePlus capitalizing on what people want in the Pixel phone, right? Like we're already getting, damn near best in class cameras on the Pixels, right? We're getting software updates, more frequently than other OEMs. So that's a big plus. Now it's time for customization. It's time for customization to be more of a focus than just what they currently have right now with Android 12 and into Android 13, allowing us to install these. Now, people will say that you still can, because all you got to do is just download a third-party launcher. But for someone like me, like other people, they can install a launcher and be totally fine with it. But I have this really bad issue, and this is just me, okay? So this would be basically towards me. I just hate using third-party launchers. I do. For some reason, knowing the fact that I had to install another launcher on there just to achieve a certain customization grinds my gears. And it's not so much that, like Google failed to do it. I'm hoping one day Google will do it, but I think it's just because the years that I've been using custom ROMs, and when you use custom ROMs, especially when they're the AOSP ROMs, which is basically just stock Android, a lot of companies like Cyanogen, AOKP, Paranoid Android, Lineage OS, AOCP, Dark Unicorns. I mean, I'm naming a bunch of different, like ROM developers that I thoroughly enjoyed their stuff. Hell, even Moki ROM was one of my favorite ones. And one of the things that they allowed you to do was to customize stock Android. So you had the ability to switch up the colorway, but you also had the ability to add custom icons. Like you can install an icon pack and it would run the images from the icon pack, replacing the native icons. So you had these things with these custom ROMs, and hell, they even collaborated. If you guys didn't know, Pac-Man ROM, which was a very popular custom ROM for Android devices, is actually consistent of 3 different custom ROMs. It's consistent of Paranoid Android, AOKP, and CyanogenMod, PAC. That's why they called it Pac-Man ROM. And yeah, it was very, very damn good. And so, yeah, I really wish that, Google would capitalize on that. I mean, Google's making moves to kind of switch it up a little bit. So why not implement the ability to use custom icons from the Play Store? I mean, Google pretty much runs the Play Store, right? An app that's on there that's known to be bad, they will remove it off the Play Store. So they don't have to worry about icon packs being bad if they're running Play Protect, which is basically it scans applications that you download onto your phone from the Play Store to let you know if they're like malicious software or not. Right. A lot of people were very good, happy with Android 11. Mike from BTech Reviews says the same thing to me all the time when we talk. I like Android 12 and Android 13. I kind of like the design. I know he doesn't like the design of the notification drop down. So like the quick settings and such, he doesn't like. And I get that. I love the custom bootloaders. Oh yeah, when you replace the loading the loading screen with something else. I remember doing that. I did that a lot with the Samsung Intercept. I know that's like a really rinky-dink Android phone. It was kind of pricey though. It was like $249 for it with a slide-out QWERTY keyboard. It was a successor to the Samsung Moment, but it just had terrible issues with it, and it didn't even have TouchWiz on it. It had native 2.2 Froyo on it. But I remember flashing so many different custom ROMs that were built off of Froyo and just, were themed to look like gingerbread, because they didn't really have official gingerbread software for the Samsung Intercept. As a matter of fact, the closest we ever had, which was actually 2.3 gingerbread, was CyanogenMod 7. But the 5 times I installed that ROM on the Samsung Intercept, the cameras weren't working. They never got it fixed. So that was one of the things that wasn't working. And you know how people are, they want their cameras to work. So I didn't keep it as a daily driver custom ROM on it. But yeah, ROMing, putting up different splash screens to when you booted up your phone, it was awesome. There were different ones. There were even, back then, customizing Android was so like heavy that they even had places like online websites with engines that would allow you to design your own boot animation screen when you powered on your Android phone, and those were fun as hell. Quick settings on Android 12 are horrible, and the Wi-Fi toggle. Yeah. So I mean, I get it. Like, and that's one thing that I really wish that security patches would just remain. At least give it give Android 11 like 7 or 8 years, right, of security patches. I'm not asking them to change the UI and anything like that, because some people would be absolutely happy with Android 11 and go that route. Some people would have been like absolutely happy with KitKat. I mean, there's people out there that's like that, believe it or not. We don't think so, because we're a bunch of techies and nerds, and so we think that everyone wants to be on the latest and greatest, but there are people out there who would prefer 2.2 Froyo. I know people who still liked Eclair and Donut. So, I mean, like, go figure. What up, Keystone? What's going on? So, with that being said, I mean, the days of custom ROMing, the days of, just really modifying your Android device, like, I think that's something that Google should really capitalize on. It can be done. There's no excuse for Google to say it's not something that they can implement in to really emphasize on be together but not the same, right? That's been Android's slogan for the longest time. Be together, not the same, which means that everyone uses their phones differently. So why not make it, accessible for people to be able to do things like edit their boot animation instead of it showing, like the Motorola logo and saying powered by Android. They can put a picture of them and their wife or husband or their favorite anime with a loading bar. When you have people, right? Everyday people like you and me who chill at home on their spare time and build these ROMs for one particular phone and then port it to work with other different Android phones and bring said features from one phone to another phone. If it could be done by somebody who just chills at home on their free time to do that, you can't tell me that the engineers at Google couldn't do that for Android. I'm just saying. Right. I should be able to modify my own order for quick settings. Right. Well, actually, hold on. I think the stream was kind of cutting out, or at least it's telling me that the signal was kind of failing for a second. So let me know if the stream's still going good by just commenting a thumbs up. I should be able to modify my own order of quick settings. I think you're able to still do that with Android 12. Let me unlock my Pixel 5 real quick. I just booted it on, so yeah. Yeah, you can. Like right down there at the bottom where it has the little pencil, you click the pencil, and then it allows you to edit around where you want specific things in your quick settings for Android 12 and Android 13. So yeah, you could definitely do that. But I mean, it would be cool because I know there was one custom ROM that I had where the notification drop down, you could actually put an image in it, and the image would be kind of its opacity was probably like 38 to 40%. So You mostly saw the information from the notifications in there. But if you didn't have any notifications and you just dropped down your notification shade and saw your quick settings on top, that whole blank space area would have an image. And it was A-OK. No, it was Dirty Unicorns. Dirty Unicorns based off of Ice Cream Sandwich. No, Jelly Bean. So it was 4.2.2 Jelly Bean. But Dirty Unicorns, which is the custom ROM, off of 4.2.2 Jelly Bean, allowed you to do that with the notification shade. And that would be so cool if like Google would just implement that. I mean, Material You UI is supposed to be based off of you, right? So if it's based off of you and me, then allow us the ability to really modify that bad boy. Because I'm pretty sure people can get extra fucking creative if you give them the ability to do that. And that's one of the sought after things that was missed. And I feel like that, you know, over the time where Google was really pushing for customization and saying that we're going to customize, we're going to allow you to customize this. Material UI is going to allow you to customize colors and stuff like that. Like we got sold, or as some people would say, we got sold a wolf ticket, because a lot of us, when we hear customize, we think full control over the user interface. We think that way. But then, you know, we're not given that. But I don't know why a lot of us fall victim to it, to just not say anything. Like even I'm thinking to myself, why haven't I said this on the podcast before? You know, I seldomly defend Android 12 and Android 13, you know, to its capabilities of what it's able to do, and at least they're giving us something. But I'm thinking to myself, like, but wait a minute. You know, customization is everything to people who want to customize their Android experience to be something good. And if that really is the case, then I would say allow us to shift the notification settings, the quick settings and notification, right? You know how like in Android 11, they allowed us to change the icon shape. You can either do a circle, a square, a squircle, or like a very odd shaped bubble. And when you did that, it applied also to the quick settings toggles in notification shade. I really think that it should just allow us to really kind of like, hell, build, you know, notification quick setting icon packs, right? Specifically for the notification shade quick settings, right? And completely change how they look. These are things that they would be like absolutely cool in Android. And hopefully Google brings this stuff into Android. That'd be so cool to see. I don't know about you guys, but I would totally flip and hype and totally fanboy out on Android if Google's like, this is what we're doing with Android, you know, 14. You're going to be able to do this as far as customization. Boom, 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 boom. Just give me free reins to make Android mine and mine alone, away from everybody else's. And I would so fucking fanboy out. And as my excitement for that brings me back to the reason why I say that even though that this is a budget device, the OnePlus N200 5G Pro Premium Plus super package, that's one of the reasons why that I like using it, why I continue to go back to it. It's just that, you know, the customization on it allows me to do these things that kind of changes up the feel. And yeah, I'm just like, cool. I mean, those are my icon apps at the bottom: Instagram, the camera, messages, right? Let me dial back the brightness a little bit. There we go. That should make it more visible for people to see. Well, no, not really. Okay, I got to find a medium balance. Okay, let's see if that does it. Yeah. I mean, those are like the icon apps that I have. Some apps don't theme, some of them do. That's cool. But that's Oxygen OS. Okay, the cameras here can be a bit deceiving. And I say that because I took a photo, and with outdoor lighting, the photos came out really good. A lot better than I expected it to be. The problem with it was that I like to turn on watermark, which I'll get into here in a little bit. I turn on the watermark so you know where the photo came from. You know, it was shot on a OnePlus. The problem with this one that I have is that on the watermark, it stamps Hasselblad. But the camera sensors on this, I believe it's an f2.2 aperture rating. So it doesn't do very well in low light. And night sight is useless with this phone. I mean, you know what? So I was already doing it live earlier with the Revvl V Plus. I am going to go ahead and I am going to take a picture of my backyard. And so there's one. And then I am going to take a picture with the night sight. And it says keep your device as steady as possible, which my hands can't because, you know. All right, I'm gonna tweet these out right now. So if you follow me on Twitter, you guys are about to see a tweet in my Twitter feed that's going to show you guys the results of these photos from the OnePlus N200. And yes, it says Hasselblad on it. So you guys are going to probably laugh because you're going to be like, that doesn't look like something that, you know, a Hasselblad sensor would produce. So I'll just put OP N200, not 299, 200 camera test. And I'm gonna tweet that right now. And you guys should be able to see it on Twitter. And you guys will see exactly what I'm talking about. How they came out. I mean, they came out super noisy. Lots of distortion. Very grainy. Very grainy. And then, so the first one you'll see, this one that seems a little bit lighter, is actually the regular photo. And then the more darker one where the little backyard lights seems more of a deeper orange, that's actually the night shot. And then you guys will see why. So the cameras are not going to be superly dependable. If it's during the daytime and you're out and about hiking and stuff like that, but you're going to get amazing photos. If you follow me on Instagram, you probably saw a photo that I took, and I actually edited that one, but not edit to clean up a lot of you know, graininess or anything like that. What I did was I just emphasized the colors of the cloud. Right, so I took a picture of a storm cloud that literally had a line splitting the sky. So the right side of the cloud was where the thunderstorm was behind it, being rolled into my city. And then the left side of it was an opening that had the sunlight peering through it. And I was like, oh, this looks pretty cool. Some people might be inspired thinking like that's the gateway to heaven. So I snapped a photo of it and I was like, I wonder if I could just like enhance the colors. Then I went ahead and enhanced the colors. And so that's on my Instagram account. And if you see that, you'll see that it's actually a pretty decent shot from the OnePlus N200. The pics. But in this scenario, where it's dark right now, the sun has gone down since half an hour ago, since I started live streaming, and the sun was just sunsetting. Right? So these photos, they don't do well in low light. So if you're a type of person who's a night owl, or you got vampire hours that you go by, you're not going to get the best shots with these unless you're indoor with ample lighting. That is the only major caveat that I have to the OnePlus N200. The battery is insane. If you guys caught my video I uploaded here on my channel talking about where I only used the OnePlus N200 for an entire day, like I didn't use any other devices, I used this and this phone alone, and 5G was on, then you guys will see like I got pretty damn good battery life on it. And I'll say that to that. Now, my current phone, and one of my favorite phones that I'm really enjoying using, is the Moto G Stylus 2022 5G Pro Premium Plus Super Redefined Ultra Mega Package. This phone is just phone of funds right here, okay? The last time I really had a phone with a stylus, I would say, was the LG Stylo 4 on Boost Mobile. That was the last stylus device I ever had. I wanted to get the Stylo 5. I just never did, never pulled the trigger on it. And the Stylo 6, I never sought after. I don't even know if the Stylo 6 has 5G or not, or if they ever made a 5G version of the Stylo 6. But the reason I give homage to the Stylo series from LG was because we had the Samsung Galaxy Note, and a lot of people were just like really fascinated by having a smartphone that had a built-in stylus. And Samsung capitalized on it by adding really cool features on top of it and certain things you could do over each iteration and generation of the Galaxy Note. But there was never a budget option for a device with a stylus. And LG kind of fulfilled that void. This is why I'm sad that LG is no longer playing the game anymore. Because, yeah, they had some quirky stuff, right? The LG Wing. But they had some pretty badass phones. I can name, out of LG, like some of my top favorite phones ever was the LG Volt, because that was a real 4 days battery. Okay, it was like a 4,000 milliamp hour battery, but because the display was small and it was a much lower resolution display, the battery could hang for like 3 days, almost 4 days, with the way that I used the phone. Okay, so that's one of them. The LG Aka. If you guys never heard of that phone, don't worry about it. It never made its way to the United States. This phone, the LG Aka, which people thought meant the LG AKA, this phone was basically built off the same style as one of my other favorite LG phones, the LG Flex, the LG G Flex and the G Flex 2. The Aka was built kind of the same way. So the LG Volt 2, which kind of had a curved body also, but not a curved display, the Aka had a very similar build. But the cool thing about the LG Aka was that it had personality to it. So when you bought it, you had 4 different options to choose from, because 4 different options came with a little mini statue based upon the colorway that you picked. Like if you got the white one, I forgot what his name was, but he was like a skater punk. If you got the yellow one, the character's name was Eggy and he was an artist. If you got the black one, then it was Soul, and Soul was just real swole black, character that was all about hip hop and such. And I know someone's probably gonna make fun of that or say something really referenced. Let's not get in our fucking panties about that, okay? It's not meant in a derogatory or mean way. And then you had a pink one. I forgot the pink one's name. The white one's name was Yo-Yo. But anyways, so like LG really wanted to kind of give these phones personality, right? And they had a case that slipped over the front of the phone. So you would slide the case into the phone and it would basically just show this much of your phone when it was in its case. And it would have 2 eyes here, and those eyes would be looking around, like literally interacting. And you could tell when your phone was gonna die, because if the eyes on the top looked sleepy, it meant that you had low battery. If they looked energetic, then it was full battery. And those phones came with stickers for you to customize the case. If you really want to know what these phones look like, just Google search LG Aka or LG AKA, and then you'll see exactly what they were released in Korea, and in Korea only. I don't think they made their way to Europe or India, but in Korea they did. And I really wanted that phone to come to the US. So that's another LG phone that I thought should have been here. The LG G5, even though a lot of people were mad because it was supposed to be modular, but it wasn't. And, the bottom of the phone didn't align perfectly with the rest of the body of the phone. But I still thought it was a pretty decent phone. Like I said, the G Flex, G Flex 2, the LG G6, I thought was a pretty awesome looking phone. I love the design of it, that box feel. Like I said, I'm more of a fan of like a boxy shaped type phone. So I thought it was really cool, and I just never got one. I remember Mill Hustles hit me up when Boost Mobile had like a pretty huge promotion. Gotta go, good night. All right, alternate reality, thanks for popping in and hanging out with us. But I remember he was telling me there was a promotion on it, and I just didn't have the money to do it, but I was pretty damn broke. So I was just like, oh, nuts. Couldn't get it. I would have loved to get a LG G6, but man. I never picked up an LG G7 from Google Fi. I know they were starting to sell them. And the LG V10. The V10 and the V20. So those are like my favorite LG devices. So I wish LG was still around. I really wish they were. So the Moto G Stylus is the next one on the list. Basically, that's just, mid-range device, and it performs super well. Confirmed by a source of mine, Snapdragon 695G chip is in here. I thought it was a MediaTek, but it's not. I guess the other model, or the unlocked model, has a MediaTek chip, but the Metro version has a Qualcomm chip. So it's pretty snappy. You got 3 cameras on the back, and they take really good pictures. On top of that, you got a nice selfie camera on the front, and it's centered. It's not to the left or to the right corner of the display. It's hole punch center, or top center. Let me be specific before someone thinks the camera is actually in the center of the display. And the display looks really nice. The cool thing about it is that it is a polycarbonate body. So I don't feel odd holding it in hand without a case like I do with my Pixel 6, because my Pixel 6 is glass. That has a less survival rate than, plastic does. So, yeah. Cameras as well. It does everything good. And then of course you got the stylus at the bottom that comes in handy for other things you want to do, like take notes. And then there's a game that I play that's probably silly to some people. The game is called Cooking Mama. I first heard about it on the Nintendo DS. And so you can actually play that on your phone. And since you have the stylus, you can do the cooking tasks and play the game. But there's other stuff you can do with it too as well. Other games you can utilize the stylus for that you can think of. The stylus doesn't have any built-in features, right? So there's no like clicking it to start a video record or video stop record. It doesn't have that type of thing. But when you do pull it out, it does bring you up a short menu of some of the things, some of the features that Motorola packed in here to have. Now this phone is running Android 12, and I'm hoping that it gets Android 13. But I won't hold my breath though. But I've heard Motorola is pretty good at updating their devices. Like I just showed you guys earlier, and I'm going to look more into it and probably do a video about it this weekend and talk about the Moto G32 and see if it's coming to the US, because that phone looks pretty interesting. And this phone, the Moto G Stylus, has rekindled my like for Motorola devices. It feels so snappy, and I want to say I consider that, I attribute that to like the feeling that I got when I had the Moto X4. Okay, so the Moto X4 that I got from Google Fi years ago was really awesome. I really, really like that phone. And I wish that it was still functional and running right now. But of course, I gave mine, mine was the 32 gig variant. I gave that to my brother. And when he was walking home from work one day, someone threw a rock at him and hit the pocket that the phone was in and completely smashed the screen. So, phone not working anymore. My fiance got the 64 gig version, which was of like a silverish blue color. When we upgraded phones, we gave that to my second oldest son to use, and he didn't take good care of it. So he busted the protective glass over the camera sensors on the back, because back then they had that circle camera in centered, like top centered. And he broke the glass on that, and it got wet, so water got into the phone, so it no longer turns on. I still have the phone somewhere. It won't charge if you put a charger to it, and it will not turn on. And yeah, I know if I was to try to get it repaired, obviously water damage, and so other components may be damaged as well. So I would just be more likely recommended to switch to like another phone. And then lastly, the Google Pixel 6. I really thoroughly enjoy this phone, and I gotta show you guys this really cool wallpaper I just added on for you guys. It's a video wallpaper that I got from Zedge. My system was going off, but yeah, this is pretty cool because when you tap it, it animates, and then when you tap it again, it freezes it. Pretty cool. I think it just looks cool as hell for it. But anyways, so what can I say that I have not already said about the Google Pixel 6? I mean, this phone is just all kinds of goodies and fun. Right now, I don't have a case on it. I know, and I'm being very careful with it because I don't want to drop it. But mostly, like when I'm at home, I mostly use a case when I go out, or if I take this phone with me to work, then I will put a case on it, because you just can't plan the day and what's going to happen around you during the day, but you can control of what is like for you at home. And yeah, it is this particular handset. I do have to say thank you to it, because a lot of people reported some really bad buggy issues, and I can tell you guys that my unit, this one right here, did not face a lot of bug issues that a lot of people did face with their Pixel 6 and 6 Pros. I think I had one bug issue and then one software issue with this particular Pixel 6. The bug issue that I had was the mobile data connection issue, which was right around when people were talking about it, is when I got the phone. And it started to have it, but then the next update fixed that. So I didn't have the bug issue that long to have to deal with. The other thing was that when I had it on Android 12L, so beta L, it got stuck on that software, that every time that I tried to go into g.co/Android beta and then unenroll this phone from the beta program, what it's supposed to do is it's supposed to download the Android 12 software, and then it would fully wipe your phone and install Android 12. But every time it would fully wipe my phone, when it would reboot, then it would boot to a screen that said, no software to boot to. Please install the original software onto the device. So I was like, holy crap. Then I would like basically go into recovery and do a quick reboot from there. And then it would boot back into Android 12 L beta. So the L beta wouldn't get off the phone to allow stock 12 to, repurpose into the phone. So that's why when I power my phone on, if you ever see it on any other video of mine, you'll see that it warns me that the bootloader is unlocked, because the bootloader is unlocked on my Pixel 6. So literally at this point right now, I could install a custom ROM. I just choose not to. Go Speed Racer, go. Anyways, so yeah, the Pixel 6 does everything that I need it and want it to do. It's got insanely good cameras. And I know people will say, well, iPhone 13's got better cameras, Samsung Galaxy S22 Ultra's got better cameras, and everyone's got their preference of things. This is where it kind of goes back to, your perception versus my perception. So like some people like their phones to take photos the way Samsung does. And I've always believed that Samsung has oversaturated colors with their photography. So I've never really been a big fan of it. The iPhones do pretty good with their photos too. I think they excel more in videography. And it's not just like I'm agreeing with what everyone else says. I've had iPhones, I've used them, and I felt that the video capabilities on them was much better than, my Google Pixel phones, at least until the Pixel 6. So some of the things that they did with the videography of the Pixel 6 really did fix a lot of the issues that people were wanting to, be present and prevalent inside of the Pixel phone when it came to video recording. Cameras never been a problem. A lot of people love them. A lot of people look at them and find them to be great photos. And I think Pixels do a way better job at taking photos. Videography, I'm glad they caught up to it. Now, this 50 megapixel sensor that Google put into the Pixel 6 and 6 Pro is a bit questionable. And that is something because the 12.2 Sony IMX363 sensor in my Pixel 5 and other Pixel devices I have, I feel sometimes does the better job in taking photos. The Pixel does good photos too, but for what the specs on the camera sensor is, and it's a Samsung camera sensor, by the way, I expected it to be more than what it's giving. And but yeah, I mean, there is time. Pixels get better over time. That's one thing I do know. And so over time, the Pixel 6 will start to shine. Being that what it has and what it offers already makes me in no position to be in a hurry to get a Pixel 7. I will get one because I want to review one for you guys, but it won't be on day of launch. It'll maybe be a little bit later on, and which I think works out great for me because one, I buy it out of pocket, so my credibility stands, and two, when I get it months after everybody else does, everybody else's unboxing and reviews have been out. Those people that get the phone for free and review it, they've gone back to their preferred daily driver device, whether it's Samsung, iPhone, or stays on the Pixel. So while they're done with their videos and stuff, and all they're doing is making like 3 months update reviews and a day in the life with the Pixel 7, I'll get mine. I'll unbox it. You'll get a genuine reaction from me and a genuine thought of how I feel about it. And you know what? Not being a cocky, arrogant asshole, but the fact of the way that I fan out for Google Pixel phones, I would say literally, like I look for the things that really matter about a Google Pixel phone. Like I mentioned the things like cameras and stuff like that, because a lot of people really know the Google Pixels for their cameras. But the way that the software works, software optimization, those types of things, I tend to kind of want to bring into the table. And of course, above all, user experience. So I'm not going to sit here and complain about things that I found wrong with the Google Pixel phones, but I am going to tell you my experience with the Google Pixel phone that I'm using, so you have an understanding of what I'm using, how it works for me, that type of thing. So anyways, in closing, if I can fit all these in one hand, I'm gonna try to, but there's no guarantees. Try to hold this like a hand of cards. But yeah, these phones are my daily driver phones. There's 5 now. I used to have 4. 5 phones that I use because I find usefulness of each one of them. And so that's how it is right now. Anyways, Thanks for hanging out with me, everybody. Like, I was having a pretty shitty week, and I went live here to take my mind off of things, and you guys, it helped. It helped knowing seeing you guys chat in the chat section area, and just kind of speak. Shout out to those that joined in. Shout out to Alternate Reality who had to go. Shout out to B Tech Reviews for being here. Shout out to my daughter Dee Dee, aka Junebug. That's her YouTube channel that she's starting to work on. I know my other daughter has her YouTube channel. I think she's already over 200 subscribers already, and all she does is just make these YouTube shorts, and they're just based on like her and my oldest daughter and my youngest son, and they just play around. They play, and yeah. So I'm happy, proud of her, and I know that my daughter Dee Dee, Junebug, when she gets things going for her YouTube channel, I know she's going to do very well too. Thing is that I give them no insight. Like my other daughter and her YouTube channel, I gave her no help and no insight at all. So those 200 subscribers that she got, she did that herself. Like that was all done by her. She never dropped my name. She never said anything. She didn't stay in my shadow. She created her own little pond. And I know my daughter Dee is going to do the same thing with her YouTube channel when she figures out exactly what she wants to specifically do on her channel, whether she wants to do cooking because she likes to cook. She may do that. She may, she may tell stories, all that stuff. So they'll do their thing. I have none of my fingers in their YouTube channel other than like I inspect who comments because, people do get stupid on this platform, and they should know if they comment something pretty silly and sick, they're talking, to little kids. So I just inspect what my kids do. That way there's no surprises. But all right, guys, I'm actually hungry. I'm waiting for dinner. Hopefully, I think dinner is going to be done here soon. I'm going to go eat. So it's like chicken flautas. Oof, I could already taste it. And then carnita flautas, I guess you would call it that. My fiance would probably ding me and be like, your Spanish is bad and you suck at it. And it's like, yes, I know my Spanish is bad. I'm like that lion from the old Taco Bell commercial. I don't know if you guys ever remember that commercial with Taco Bell. There's two lions in the safari. They're sitting under the tree. And one lion can't pronounce carne with the rolling R, so he says carne. And the other one keeps making fun of him, like, no, it's carne asada. Carne asada. And the other one's like carne asada. And yeah, so she says I'm the lion that says carne. So she always makes fun of me for that. But anyways, yeah, I'll let you guys go. Y'all enjoy the rest of your evening. Thanks for checking me out. And I'll see you guys Saturday with another one. Until then.